It wasn't long before Dale Earnhardt and Davey Allison moved to the front. The strongest cars on the speedway belong to Earnhardt, Allison, Michael Waltrip, and Ken Schrader. Despite a long stretch under green, the four remained bunched closely on the money lap. With Earnhardt uncatchable, Allison had his hands full with Waltrip, who was going to get second or wreck trying.
Spot as they come out of turn number 2. Here comes Harry Gant down to win it in car number 7. He has done a walkaway, but the battle right to the line. His car's 3 and 36, and it is Dale Earnhardt by a whisper over Kenny Wallace at the stripe. Great finish for second place. Dale Jarrett will finish in 4th. Michael Waltrip in 5th spot.
Hey, we got to restart, Bob. We're sorry you're out. Back to you, Mike.
Third place changes hands. Earnhardt gets past the 34 car of Todd Bodine to bring them home. Victory, jubilation, and retribution. Here is Dale Jarrett winning the Goodwrench 200 by 1/4 of a second over Kenny Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Todd Bodine, and Harry Gant.
And Hensley is making him look like a prophet. Look at that 25 car go.
No problem at this point. One more corner to negotiate, and Hensley off the final turn. There's the crew cheering him on. Victory, Jimmy Hensley.
Jimmy Hensley wins the Miller High Life Martinsville 200. Dale Jarrett in second, followed by Kenny Wallace, Bobby Labonte, and Elton Sawyer. A great afternoon of Busch Grand National Racing.
Yeah, man, from right here in the home state of Virginia, up the road in Ridgeway, Jimmy Hensley, one of the finest drivers in this business, won repeatedly over the years in the Busch Grand National Circuit, and notches yet another victory.
Heading down the backstretch the last time. And Kenny Wallace will do it. He will win his first Busch Grand National race here at the Volusia County Speedway. Your Spring 200 winner, Tommy Houston, comes home second. Third place unofficially credited to Butch Miller. Fourth to Jimmy Hensley, and fifth to Dave Green. For Jimmy Hensley, it has to be now. But it is not to be. Butch Miller will win the Mountain Dew 500. Better yet say survive this race this afternoon. Hensley finishes second. Third place goes to Joe Nemechek. Fourth to Ken Schrader. 276 wild laps from Hickory, punctuated by 17 cautions.
Butch Miller's first victory on the Grand National Series since 1986 at Indianapolis. Give a call to their crew. They made some late race adjustments that certainly paved their way to victory.
Earnhardt running third. Bill Parsons running fourth.
That's the Diamond Ridge Racing Oldsmobile for Bill Parsons.
And here's trouble down in turn 2.
Couple of cars coming together down. That's Clifford Allison and the car number 33 of Ed Barrier. Some caution being shown, and they race back to the caution flag out of turn 4, and Dale Jarrett will get the advantage at the caution flag. Only 4 laps to go as we are showing caution for the 6th time today. 2 cars coming together down in turns 1 and 2. Clifford Allison at 26 years of age, the youngest son of NASCAR legend Bobby Allison, and of course that car number 33, Ed Barrier.
Quite a bit of damage to the rear of that car, Jerry, and it looks like quite a bit of damage to the right side. And
what they refer to, folks, is the Rockingham Busch Grand National race, where Bobby Labonte led 72 laps, and only to have Dale Jarrett running down and passing just a handful of laps from the end. And Dale Jarrett went to victory lane, and Bobby Labonte did not. And again today, as they wave the checkered flag on the Pontiac Pacesetters 200, and yes, they have rights to celebrate down there in the Nestle's Crunch pit. Car Sassenhauer there getting a big hug as the car owner. And proud Papa, congratulations, your young son does it for the 2nd time this year. This young man from Corpus Christi, Texas, at 26 years of age, trying to pick up his first ever win in the Penrose Firecracker Oldsmobile, comes across and the crowd celebrates as they do in Bobby Labonte's pits. A close battle back there for 4th spot. Looked like Spencer Man just a nifty.
he might have. It was very close as they came across the start-finish line. Now the driver's pulling up to congratulate Bobby Labonte on his first ever win.
And they are running down to congratulate Bob Labonte and all that Penrose crew that have worked so long and so hard and come so close. There's Dave Resendez up to give a wave. Clifford Allison coming by. What a great run that young man had today.
Burton looking for his first win of 1991, second on his career.
And there is our race leader coming off turn 4 and wins the CarQuest Auto Parts Stores 300 before his hometown fans. Second place goes in convincing fashion to Joe Nemechek as we have it, and third,
Ed Barrier by about 2 feet at the finish line from the outside groove. He was able to beat back the challenge of Bobby Donner. Great driving on old tires.
Tremendous job of Ed Barrier there. I was going to say he beat him by a nose, but if it was 2 feet, then the only people...
That's the size of my nose.
My nose is 2 feet long, so... But great job. That was a terrific battle. Last 10 laps. Remember, again, they were on...
This would finally be their week, and it was. Chuck was never challenged in the closing laps and won by 10 seconds. Grissom was second, Wallace third. Green finished fourth, 1 lap down.
Started in 8th. Gant started in 25th today. Trickle fell way back out of the top 20 at one time and has come right back into it. Here's Trickle in car number 92. Down for the final lap out of turn number 4. Checkered flag is about to be waved. And as they come to the line, Trickle is there, but it's not enough. Dale Earnhardt has won at his 16th Grand National win, his 3rd Grand National victory at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt, qualified 21st, comes rambling back to defeat Dick Trickle and Harry Gant in a dramatic champion spark plug 300.
A lot of smoke out of Irvin's car. Uh-oh. Out of the corner. Here goes Davey. It's over for Ernie Irvin. And for Harry Gant. Harry Gant's on pit road. And he's going to lose it.
He's going to spin. Oh, me. Slow down, boys.
That's turn 4. Caution.
He's clear.
And with 4 laps to go, I'll tell you, Harry Gant can have the tough tires, but how about having a 195-mile engine for a 200-mile race? But as you mentioned, Mike, Harry Gant would have won the 184-mile Budweiser race, but Ernie Irvin would have won the 196-mile Budweiser race. Harry Gant gets left side tires. Now, will they count this as a caution flag pit stop, or can he get more? There he's getting out of the car. He must have. He has a terminal problem. Obviously, he's already out of the car. And sadly, his prediction will prove true that they just didn't have it to win today. Ernie Irvin takes off the steering wheel, and he will climb out after a tremendous run in the Mac Tools Chevrolet. Some 30,000 people here are standing. He's about to go to victory lane, and he will probably be as surprised as anybody. Now, Davey Allison has Elton Sawyer pushing him around the racetrack, and we'll have to check on the legality of that. We'll have to ask Harry Gant about whether that's legal or not, Mike. Well, Harry got a bump from Rick Mast at Talladega, went on to win. The rule is you can't receive any assistance from another driver after the white flag. Oldsmobile pace car leads Todd Bodine to the finish line, and Jeff Gordon, the young Lions of NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing, come home at the front of the field. Darrell Waltrip will come home 3rd, and Ward Burton 4th.
Chuck Bound, the Portland, Oregon driver, down the backstretch for one last time. Race number 16 in the 1991 Busch Grand National Series will go to Chuck Bound in the Nescafe Classic Pontiac. Second place will go to the smoking Robert Presley. Third unofficially to Steve Grissom. Fourth to Kenny Wallace. But congratulations to Chuck Bound, and we'll go trackside to talk to the happy winner and the crew in just a moment.
has made a great comeback here. He's made it twice. 3 times he's made a comeback in that Kodak car number 4. Nemechek in the 87 stays in second. Last time through that very tricky left right-hander. Around turn 7, here's Ernie Irvin closing up. They're coming down, and Ernie almost throws it away as they come to the line. There they are, 1, 2, and 3. Terry Labonte, Joe Nemechek, and Ernie Irvin finish off the afternoon in the Phase 150 at Watkins Glen. A great victory for Terry Labonte, who kept his nose clean all day, stayed up in front and out of trouble. For Joe Nemechek, it is the same for Ernie Irvin. It's been a comeback story over and over again, having to work his way through the field.
It was discovered later that he was okay. In the meantime, Chuck Bound was on his way to his 3rd win of the season and hoping that his luck would continue on an upward swing.
Well, you just take the good with the bad in this business.
The battle right now is for 3rd position. Trickle and Chuck Bound. There's Bobby Labonte about to win the Kroger 200 pit. He slows slightly as Tracy Leslie closes in. Here comes the leaders off of turn number 4, and yes, Bobby Labonte wins. Leslie is second, followed by Trickle and Bound.
Man, oh man. You know, Elvin Rector, the crew chief on Tracy Leslie's car, resigned just a couple of weeks ago. I asked these fellows on the 72 car, who's the crew chief? They said we're going to do it by committee. So the committee did pretty good.
Given up, their efforts will pay off this afternoon as the Ridgeway, Virginia driver comes through turn 4 for the last time and takes the checkered flag in the Texas Pete Sauces 300. Second place will go to that car, Robert Presley. The Oldsmobile comes to the checkered flag as we have a spin up in turn number 4. That is Jay Fogelman bringing the race to an eventful conclusion after Jimmy Hensley tried to make it a boring show.
Butch Miller finished in 3rd. He also on Hoosier Tires. Chuck Bound coming home 4th. So good day for Hoosier Tires. They put it to the big guy from Ohio, Goodyear Tires, as they win the Texas Pete Sauces 300 here in Rougemont, North Carolina.
Here is Jeff Gordon down the back straightaway. A half a car length separate him. Gordon now will drive the car to the inside and turns 3 and 4. A little bit of a tap. And no, he will not be able to do it. Jarrett takes the win. Bobby Labonte is second. And Jeff Gordon brings the 4th Thunderbird home in 3rd spot. And John Irvin and the Nestle's Crunch crew, they're all celebrating, and rightfully so. The young man has done a tremendous job starting in 11th spot. The 34-year-old driver picking up his 3rd win of the year, and a little bit reminiscent of what we saw last Sunday as Davey Allison rides up there and waves. Remember, he's the guy that he raced last Sunday. Inside of Darrell Waltrip. Oh, they touch.
Trickle thought he had cleared him, but he had not. Waltrip, very smart, backed out. Now Labonte might go down on the inside of Waltrip as Waltrip goes high.
Bobby Labonte trying to take the point lead in Busch Series racing. This is the final lap. Earnhardt takes the win. Michael Waltrip will finish in 2nd spot. Todd Bodine is 3rd, but here's the battle for 5th spot.
But watch him slide up and Waltrip try to come back on the inside. That's a Dale Earnhardt trick. Darrell Waltrip knows it very well. But who will win the battle back to the line? I believe it will be Labonte.
Bobby Labonte, the Carl Wegner motor in that Oldsmobile, and he will finish in 5th spot and take the Busch Grand National Series point lead by a single point over Kenny Wallace. What a tremendous effort as Dale Earnhardt gives a big wave and a thumbs up to this tremendous crowd on hand for Busch Series racing, and they really enjoy racing here at Darlington, South Carolina. There's Michael Waltrip, who finished in 2nd spot in the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Presley closing those final moments on the leader. Look at this battle. Even. Meanwhile, for the lead, up in front, coming to the line. Presley coming to the outside. He's going to try to can't get through. To the line. It is number 7, Harry Gant, and Ernie Irvin spins on the last corner as they run out of time. The winner is Harry Gant in the Ed Whitaker car, number 7. A great run for Gant again tonight from 29th position. The Chris Carrier prepared car carries Gant back to victory lane another time.
And it looked like Dale Jarrett nipped Mike Waltrip by about a foot at the start-finish line for 3rd.
Bobby Donner on the inside. Gant sweeps around the corner.
some lap traffic, but he's got it now.
Good battle toward midfield, checkered flag, and Harry Gant will win the Split Fire 200, second Busch Grand National victory in a row for the Ed Whitaker team.
Mike, you can almost see it in their face. You know, what are we doing? You know, why does everything turn so good? You know, you just can't do anything wrong.
Uh-oh, we got to spin Jeff Gordon coming off the last corner here, right down the middle of the front straightaway.
And he's going to come slideways to the line and not make it.
He's trying to back
it up,
across.
Back it up.
Try that other gear.
Count those points.
The other gear.
There he comes.
There we go.
There we go. He's going to finish.
Just don't get too high there.
Big cheer.
He's probably one of the most patient drivers out here in Busch Grand National or Winston Cup.
Well, he set on this one, eased it home, and then his fortune of having a car out in front with a team that wasn't experienced to super speedway racing, and they just fell on their sword in those last laps. It was unfortunate for Ward Burton. Had they made one stop there, they'd have been home.
Ken, we just watched Harry Gant win this race, and he had Wilkesboro. Earnhardt would be the first one to tell you he had him beat last week. This would make it about 9 in a row, 8 or 9 in a row. Just to get that last week.
Fifth position from Butch Miller, but Butch says, whoa, wait a minute, that's not all of it. I'm going to get back up here and challenge for that position. Last lap shootout.
That's the difference between first, second, and third. Is now Harry Gant is trying to go to the high side of Chuck Bound, but Ricky Craven could care less. He comes off of turn 4 the last time. Ricky Craven wins for the 10th time in 1991, a dominating performance in the final laps this afternoon.
Look at that great battle. Boy, Butch Miller just barely noses out 99 Jeff Burton, and they touch after the race is over. There'll be some words in the pits after that.
Ricky Craven has won his 10th race of 1991, and this is a driver who will go to Rockingham next week and make his Winston Cup debut, also live on TNN. And what a popular victory. Ricky from nearby Concord, New Hampshire, about 13 miles down the road. There he is accepting the congratulations of the rather large crowd here today at the New Hampshire International Speedway. A big victory for Ricky Craven in that speedy oil change and tune-up Chevrolet.
To 8 behind Robert Presley. Bernie Irvin looking for his first ever Busch Grand National victory. Back Tools team up on the wall, and Irvin wins it. There's the margin. Dale Jarrett finishing in second.
But so far, okay. Here comes Harry Gant headed for the checkered flag. He'll take the victory, an easy one for him. But we almost had an incident with Bobby Labonte.
Well, there's the banner. Congratulations, Bobby Labonte, and it's one they can proudly wave now. And I think Labonte just got so excited there that he just lost his concentration for a second. And there is the bid of the 1991 Busch Grand National Champion, and there is a shot of our winner, Harry Gant, number 7.
Heading into turn 3. He can't wait till he starts out of turn 4. He wouldn't have time, I don't think. He'll need the help of Rusty Wallace. Will he get it?
Martin tried to move out of turn number 2. Earnhardt was there, moving to the outside. Now back to the bottom. Here they come. Final lap. $35,000 at stake. 13th annual Busch Clash coming to the line. Wallace has pulled that Pontiac up into third. Coming to the line. Chevrolet, Ford, Pontiac wheeling down for the checkers. And at the line, no question about it, Dale Earnhardt is the winner and the man to beat in next week's 500. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Could be, and maybe the car is just not handling perfect that it'll keep him down on the inside, but certainly it has been handling good enough to stay out front all the way. And there's trouble over in turns 1 and 2.
Strickland's waving, man.
3 and 4, rather.
Car number
Dorsey
20
Schrader.
and Dorsey Schrader.
Sammy Swindell in car number 20.
World of Outlaw Sprint Car Champion, front end gone. This one's going to come to the line right now, battling. Here comes Petty down to the inside, lap car in front of him. No place to go. Davey Allison's coming for the win. Richard Petty drops on the inside. A charge to the line. Too close to call.
Yes, sir. The NASCAR cameras will have to decide that one.
lap car in the middle as Petty looked like the Petty of old, challenging Strickland, using the lap car. Strickland trying to use the lap car to throw the block. It didn't work on the King. Last lap here being turned under caution. Allison the winner, and it's Petty by an inch for second place in third. Hut Strickland back to meet the winner in a moment. Kyle Petty moves in, closes up, picks up a draft with number 4 and tries to close on number 3.
Yeah, you wonder, is Earnhardt running out of gas? He pulled to the inside to sort of block them, but maybe that was just a move to keep them from trying to draft by on the inside.
Out of turn number 4, Kyle Petty looks outside. Here they come from Earnhardt's vantage as they come to the line, switching back and forth. It is Petty, but it's Earnhardt to the line first. Ernie Irvan in second, Kyle Petty in third in the second 125-mile qualifier. And we'll meet the winner, Dale Earnhardt, in victory lane after these messages.
For Ernie Irvan's chances to win the 500.
And there's trouble off the turn 2.
Ernie Irvan in front, and Earnhardt.
Davey Allison. Davey Allison and Dale Earnhardt and Davey Allison both out of this race.
Ernie Irvan racing back to the line with a big advantage. There's Davey Allison's car coming to a stop. Ernie Irvan coming down. If it finishes here under caution, it'll be the first Californian to win this race since Marvin Panch back in 1961. Ernie Irvan's number 4 streaking across the line. Rest of the field coming by. The 28 car about where it rolled. Kept on going not too long ago.
Kyle Petty spinning in turn 4.
Well, look at the damage on his car.
He must have been involved in that fracas back on the back straight.
Now they're trying to get Davey Allison's car off the bank.
Dale
Ernie
Earnhardt
Irvan, of course, the leader.
line.
That all happened behind him.
Ernie Irvan is in first. Sterling Marlin now finds himself in second spot. In third, car number 75. 6 is Dale Jarrett. Rick Mast is going to finish this race in fourth. Ernie Irvan coming to the line and will win the 33rd annual 500 at about 55 miles an hour. Thank you. Hand out and waving. Irvan in this surprising, unbelievable finish to the 500 as Earnhardt and Allison get tangled up. Kyle Petty on the back straightaway with 3 laps to go. And Ricky Rudd is there knocking on the door. To the stripe. White flag is out. Rudd goes to the inside. Makes his move. Ricky Rudd with that Waddell Wilson power. Here comes Earnhardt back on the outside. Ricky Rudd hangs her low. Wallace looking on from about 4 car lengths back straightaway. Earnhardt has the advantage into 3. Stays high. Here comes Rudd. One more try. Pulls up on the inside. Down they come to the line. It will be Earnhardt's 49th Winston Cup win by less than a car length over Ricky Rudd.
Good clean racing there, Ken. You know, Earnhardt gave the inside lane. Rudd took it. They didn't even touch on the last lap coming off the corners.
One car won over 400,000 of them. And in the back straightaway, well ahead of Kenny Schrader by about a second and a half. Here comes Kyle Petty out of turn number 4 to face Doyle Ford's checkered flag and win the Goodwrench 500. By 1.1 seconds over Kenny Schrader, and Schrader will have to settle for, instead of the winner's trophy, the Goodies Headache Award. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after these messages.
Expect Kenny Martin to know that fact.
Ricky Rudd. This will be his 8th. Make that 12th Winston Cup win.
He's only got about a couple hundred yards to go.
Here he is off of corner number 4. Ricky Rudd wins the Trans-South 500 at Darlington. Here comes Rusty Wallace. He's going to take 5th spot. It looked like Kyle Petty may have bumped the wall coming out of turn number 4 in his desperate attempt to get 5th. from Rusty, but he didn't do it. And the Ty crew celebrates a win here at Darlington. Their first since Watkins Glen last year. At least the first win for Ricky Rudd. Now let's go to John Curtis. The white flag is out. One more lap to go for Rusty Wallace. Let's see how he handles the traffic ahead of him. Bill Elliott is right there. Rusty Wallace moving high off the second corner. Leading down the backstretch. Ernie Irvan will try to make a final move. He taps Rusty. Here they come off the corner. They're side by side. It looks like Rusty Wallace is going to win by about a half a car length. Oh, another exciting Bristol finish. And the battle for the spot back in 6th, 7th, and 8th goes to Darrell Waltrip over Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Spencer. Well, last year was the closest finish in NASCAR history here at this event when Davey Allison beat Mark Martin by 8 inches, and that one was a little bit more, but not very much. Jeff Hammond, who has already been named mechanic of the race, hoping that his driver can hold on for just a half lap. Now he's in turn number 4. Darrell Waltrip comes down and wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
I'll tell you what, there's a happy crew. I was over there back in January when those guys were working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. They went to work at 7 in the morning. They got off at 7 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. So they've earned this victory.
And this is the 5th time in 7 races this year that Darrell Waltrip has been in the top 10. But this is the big one, the victory for the Western Auto Chevrolet and Darrell Waltrip. We'll be back to talk with him in Victory Lane after this. Career Winston Cup win. The tremendous crowd on hand this afternoon is on its feet. They're cheering for Dale as he brings the Goodwrench Chevrolet off of turn number 4, heads for the checkered flag, and there it is. Dale Earnhardt wins at Martinsville. That Rick Mast cannot push that car to the finish line. He has to cross the line on his own. Is he doing it right now, or is it a tight draft?
I think it's just a tight draft. I don't know.
Well, they're separated, so Harry is still on the gas, and he's got some in it. Here he comes off of corner number 4. Remember, the start-finish line is way down past the triangle.
He's out of gas, I do believe.
I believe he can coast the rest of the way.
Can he do it? Can he coast the rest of the way?
Well, is that one car pushing him now?
That's close. Nope, they're separated. They're separated at this moment. Here comes Harry Gant down for the checkered flag, and he wins it. And Rick Mast moved to the inside to make sure that NASCAR saw that he was not pushing him. Here's the other battle. Darrell Waltrip, it appears, is going to win the battle for 2nd position. He finishes 2nd. Dale Earnhardt is 3rd. Here comes 4th, 5th, and 6th.
And 7th.
Marlin, Waltrip, Jeff Bodine, and Ken Schrader finish in that order. Let's go to John Kernan, who's with Andy Petrie.
Into Winston this afternoon. Michael Waltrip will be looking from 17th position if he hangs together through this final 4th and very difficult turn. Like the hoop-de-doos at a motocross course. All of this simply to make the field, and Michael Waltrip's done it. Michael Waltrip comes home. 2nd spot goes to Sterling Marlin. Sterling Marlin across the line, and here's the number 12 of Hut Strickland. So the top 3 from the Winston Open move on for the Winston this afternoon, and that's going to be a spectacular event with Davey Allison and Harry Gant in the front row. Allison pops up out of the hole in turn number 2. Drag races down the back straightaway. Davey Allison headed for victory.
And Ernie Irvan slipped coming off of turn 2, almost spun out. And Bill Elliott won that battle, but Michael Waltrip about to pass him as Davey Allison comes to the line.
Davey Allison is going to take it home. He's going to win. 2nd place is going to Schrader. 3rd spot to Waltrip. 4th to the number 9 of Bill Elliott. And what about 5th?
Well, it was almost a dead heat, but I think the number 4 car got it. It was just maybe by 6 or 8 inches.
Nearly too close to call, but not the case up in front. Davey Allison dominated everything this weekend at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
So many times. Doesn't count for anything.
in automobile racing for this moment as he comes around to win his 9th Winston Cup event. This day, this entire month of May in Charlotte, North Carolina has belonged to the Alabama gang. Davey Allison has done it, and he's done it in style. His grandfather must be proud at this moment back in Alabama watching this one.
I'll tell you what, he's for 2 weeks here.
All on super speedway. Dale Earnhardt into turn number 3. Knocks it down to about a dozen car lengths, but it won't be enough. Ken Schrader wins the Budweiser 500. Dale Earnhardt finishes second. Harry Gant is third, and Ernie Irvan holds off Mark Martin by 2 car lengths for fourth. At the line, Waltrip and Shepard were side by side. Well, give it to Darrell. Ricky Rudd in the 5 car. Oh, that one. Guys, come on. We went all day and you got me. We had such a good race there. Forgot who that was.
Of a road course. Is this the checker or the white flag? I've lost track.
And coming up on the white flag, Benny. Here they are.
Rudd is there.
11. Oh, and Davey Allison is spun. Ricky Rudd now has the lead. All kinds of contact here in the last few laps. And the white flag flies for Ricky Rudd. Well, we'll see what happens here in the final lap.
Davey Allison did get the car going. He still is in second place.
Well, there's going to be some tempers flaring in the garage area.
Oh, you can say that again. Yep. Davey Allison had the lead and was tagged by Ricky Rudd in turn number 11, coming down for the white flag. NASCAR officials apparently talking over this situation. He's headed toward you for the final time, Ned.
Big Baby is not here.
He comes into turn 7 here in very good shape. As the NASCAR officials talk over what they're going to do.
Davey Allison's crew looks on.
Davey's not too far behind him, too far behind him to catch him before they get back unless Rudd has a problem. But
I'll tell you what, that's not a happy bunch of campers we just saw in that tied pit. I don't know what's going on down there, but they didn't look like they were jumping up and down with joy, Ned.
Ricky Rudd brings the car once again down through the S's. This will be for the final time this afternoon. Now entering turn number 11, and Ricky Rudd is apparently going to receive the checkered flag and the win of the Banquet Frozen Foods 300. Here he comes, waving to the pit crew as he passes by. The black flag is shown to Ricky Rudd. Rudd is shown the black flag. Davey Allison is shown the checkered flag.
They did not give the win to Ricky Rudd, Bob?
No, they gave the black flag to Ricky Rudd as he came down and passed under the start-finish line. They waved the checkered flag to Davey Allison, and he apparently is going to win this race.
Well, why don't somebody jump up and down, guys?
they're confused. That's what that crew is. They don't know exactly what is going on.
Wow.
Wow is right.
And I guess Rusty Wallace would finish second then, according to that. It looks like he's the car behind Davey Allison.
You're right. And Ernie Irvan, I believe, would finish third, then Schrader, and then Labonte, followed by Dale Earnhardt. Sets up for turn number 3 for the final time this afternoon. The Western Auto Chevy looking for his second victory of 1991. Into turn number 3. Keeping the car low on the racetrack, now coming off the corner. Sees the checkered flag, and Darrell Waltrip wins the Champion Spark Plug 500 here at Pocono. Earnhardt second, followed by Mark Martin, then Harry Gant, Jeff Bodine, Ernie Irvan, Ken Schrader, Sterling Marlin, Morgan Shepard, and Derek Cope. Let's go to Jerry Punch with Jeff Hammond.
Leads anyone has ever enjoyed at this track, and it's still about 11 seconds. Can you imagine that?
And it's one of the biggest leads we've seen in a while in Winston Cup racing.
400 miles. and 11 seconds will settle it at the end of the distance, and it will be Davey Allison one more time as he comes around. Checkers are about to be unfurled, and the winner of the Michigan 400 is Davey Allison. Davey Allison scoring his 11th Winston Cup success, his 9th Super Speedway victory. A big time for Robert Yates and company. 11.6 the difference. Here's Mike Joy.
Bill Elliott goes to the inside, trying to break that draft and trying to leave Jeff Bodine in his wake. He now takes the car again into the banking, 31 degrees in turns number 3 and 4. Bodine lurking about 7 or 8 car lengths behind. Elliott has the car right on the bottom of the racetrack. Here they come into the tri-oval. Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, heads toward the checkered flag, and he gets it. Elliott wins.
Meanwhile, here's a race for the 5th spot, I believe. Michael Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd.
Rudd and Jimmy Spencer are side by side of the line, but Rudd got the advantage. Let's go to John Kernan, who's with Ernie Elliott.
And other cars, but they can't on the last lap. As Ned Jarrett said, they did this for a couple of laps so that he would conserve fuel. He would have gasoline for that final lap.
And here he comes. He is following the pace truck down pit road as the red and the checkered flags, actually the white and the checkered flags, are being displayed by Doyle Ford. There it is. The checkered flag is out, and Rusty Wallace has made it down pit road and has completed the lap unassisted. And Rusty Wallace has won the Miller Genuine Draft 500. How interesting that this car, sponsored by Miller Genuine Draft, wins the race that is sponsored by the same company.
At 195 miles an hour, they approach the 3rd and 4th turn for the final time. Dale Earnhardt just shovels it in, turns it sideways, feels that car just begin to lift under him a little, and he pulls away by a car length. Here come the Fords, closing on the outside. Mark Martin now trying to help Bill Elliott. As they close, here they come to the tri-oval. The final few moments of the race. Here's Elliott coming up to the high side. He's not going to make it. He comes to the inside. He's pulled a throw to the inside that did not work. It was too late. Dale Earnhardt has done it again. Wow, what a race. He's as good as you say he is. I mean, he is just spectacular. Earnhardt had it figured, and Elliott made a brilliant move in the last 1,000 feet as he threw to the outside, then pitched to the inside.
Here he comes, Ernie Irvan receives the checkered flag and wins the Budweiser at the Glen. Ernie Irvan from Modesto, California, wins his 2nd event of the year and his first since the Daytona 500. Well, an unfortunate situation.
Wow, they're coming down in turn.
Oh, and Hut Strickland crashes here on the main straightaway. This is the replay, Benny.
Mark is trying so hard to get on the inside of Ernie Irvan, and he has to get back on the gas too soon. Davey Allison comes along with no place to go, and both those Fords spin out together.
One more. Here comes Davey to the outside. He's going to try this pass again. It got him in trouble earlier. They both slide up the racetrack, and here they come for the white flag. One more lap to go, and Allison has a slight advantage on Jarrett as they head for turn number 1.
But remember, Dale's been going well on the inside. Does he have the right line, though, Bob?
Davey Allison keeps his car in the middle of the racetrack. Dale Jarrett's car is on the low side. Off the 18 degrees of banking, they go down on 5 degrees of banking, and Dale Jarrett wiggles a little bit as they come out of the 2nd corner. They bump, they touch, they rub, going down the backstretch, side by side, wheel to wheel. Who is it going to be in the Champion Spark Plug 400? Jarrett has the slight advantage as they go into the 3rd and 4th corners. Davey Allison battles back on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the tri-oval at the line. Who wins it? I believe Jarrett.
Oh, wow. He knows it. Oh, wow.
photo finish. He didn't win by more than 4 or 5 inches.
I tell you, fellas, when he wins his first one, I want him to do it that way, racing for it.
And he waves to Davey Allison saying, nice race.
Wow.
Dale Jarrett, his first Winston Cup victory.
All right, here they come off of turn 4. Allison on the outside, Jarrett on the inside. Both of them with the pedal to the metal. They touch coming off of the turn. Did that slow Jarrett down too much? No, he gets a bite down on the inside and barely gets to the start finish line first. Glad he did it again.
Well, it's just another race.
91. Here he is in the 3rd and 4th turns now. He has survived the Bristol High Banks, and Alan Kowicki wins the Bud 500. And the Hooters crew goes crazy out on pit road. A great win for this team and a great win for Allen. Here's John Kernan. Looking for his 13th career win. This will give him 2 Southern 500 victories, and it will give him 4 total wins here at the track too tough to tame. Harry Gant comes off the 4th corner. The crowd is on its feet. They're cheering for him. Harry Gant wins the Southern 500. Finishing just ahead of the guy who ran so well here in the early stages of the race, Davey Allison, but who ends up in 12th spot.
9th in the standings. What a run to the finish this year in Atlanta. Harry Gant can keep this streak going. Here he is coming around for the final time. Checkers about to be thrown, and it's Harry Gant flying to victory. 2 in a row for the first time in his Winston Cup career, defeating Davey Allison in a real slugfest. Here's your 3rd place car. Rusty Wallace didn't win that $120,000 bonus, so now they'll add another $7,600 that they roll down to Dover, Delaware for the next Winston Cup event. Gant's the man of the hour. You'll meet him in a moment here on TBS. Harry Gant winning the Miller 400.
Crew, checkered flag. Harry Gant has won 3 in a row, 4 wins this season, his best year ever in Winston Cup racing, his 15th career victory. And in the last 3 races, Harry Gant has led 506 of the 1,267 laps they've run in the last 3 weeks. We'll talk to him in Victory Lane when we come back to Dover Downs International Speedway.
History made here this afternoon, and what Harry has done. He puts the car into turn number 3. He now sees the checkered flag from Doyle Ford. Here it is. Gant wins the Goodies 500. Be able to hang on for 2nd spot as Earnhardt is at the end of the backstretch. Earnhardt brings the car off of corner number 4. Dale Earnhardt wins the Tyson Holly Farms 400. Gant does finish 2nd, followed by Morgan Shepherd, Davey Allison, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, and Brett Bodine. Well, Richard Childress and the Kirk Shelmerdine crew are celebrating. They have beaten Harry Gant. They have stopped the win streak. Earnhardt wins at North Wilkesboro, and we'll be back to talk with him in just a moment.
Didn't get that last ounce out of it.
You can pack up that Sears Craftsman kit and give it to Tim Brewer, that crew chief on that car. It's some savvy move, but we can hang together here. He's going to bring it home and give Bodine his first victory of 1991. It's going to happen at the Mellow Yellow 500. The checkers are out, and the winner is Bodine. What a finish. Now let's see if he can get it back to Victory Lane.
He wouldn't care if he had to get out and walk back.
2nd place goes to Davey Allison. 3rd spot, 1 lap down, is Kowicki. In 4th will be Harry Gant, and 5th, 3 laps down, Sterling Marlin.
Davey looks up high and Hensley had the racetrack. Harry Gant will close in, and being a tough car to lap. Gant is within 8 car lengths as they come off turn 4 for the final time. Davey Allison will win the AC Delco 500. Harry Gant finishes second. Mark Martin will come around to take third. And Jeff Bodine will be the 4th place car. May still be in question. A lap car separates Waltrip from Marlin. Coming out of turn 4 for his 13th career Winston Cup victory, Davey Allison wins the Pyroil 500. Robert Yates and crew celebrate, and out of turn number 4, Darrell Waltrip will take the 2nd spot. 11.4 seconds behind the winner. Watching from the headset of Gary Bender.
But it hasn't happened that way. Mark came into this race today 6th in the Winston Cup points without a victory. He is, however, now within about a half a lap, less than that, a quarter of a lap from his first win of 1991. Here he comes off the corner. The checkered flag waves, and Mark Martin wins the Hardee's 500. Now here's the battle for second position as they come to the line. Ernie Irvin and Bill Elliott. Elliott pulls alongside. It's Irvin, however, at the line, finishing second. There's the Jack Roush crew celebrating Mark Martin's victory here in Atlanta today.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Raceway. Just about to step out of the car is the 1991 NASCAR Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt as he climbs out and pats that Goodrich Chevrolet.